Hey, Brad, overall, how have the tariffs been received in the United States amongst the average voter? We hear a lot of media reporting, but the people that voted for Donald Trump as a majority, how have they been received in the last 48 hours or so?
Well, he did say he was going to do this, so people aren't surprised. And to some extent, they did vote for this. They do feel the jitters, I think, when they see the stock market taking a massive hit. And I would expect people to kind of revolt if the things they buy are at the grocery store, at the retail store get more expensive. But I mean, his diehard fans, they voted for this. This is what they want, and they trust him. So they are not freaking out or as up in arms about it as a lot of other people are who are in the media or who are policy analysts or who didn't vote for Trump. His actual supporters did vote for this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess it just goes to the fact that Donald Trump is forging ahead with this America First agenda. So realistically, the world can't be too surprised. Now, look, I want to talk to you about the Colorado House Democrats overnight, Brad, because they've passed a bill that reportedly makes misgendering a discriminatory act and can actually take children away from parents who misgender them. Have a look at this.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1312. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. No. The ayes have it. House Bill 1312 has passed.
I just think this sets such a dangerous precedent, Brad, not just for America, but I actually think for around the world that something like this has happened. What's your take on it?
Yeah, it's Orwellian and disturbing to think the government would ever try to make speech crimes a thing in the United States. The only upshot here, the only positive, is that almost certainly if a law like that were to pass, it would be struck down in the courts under our First Amendment, which doesn't allow people to criminalize this kind of behavior. Look, you have the right to call yourself whatever you want, but in America, at least, you do not have the right to force other people to call you what you want to be called, no matter how much it may hurt your feelings. And then taking people's kids away. I mean, once you start crossing into that territory, people will revolt. That is, parental rights is kind of a sacrosanct concept in American politics. And Democrats move against it at their own political peril, because I promise you that will not go over well with normal Americans. It simply will not.
Well, it's not what Americans voted for. They don't want this nonsense anymore, and that's why I guess Donald Trump's put in these executive orders. Brad Polumbo, as always, thank you so much for helping us make sense of America. And look, I think that's an interesting point, though. I understand that Donald Trump is forging ahead with his America First policy. It was a mandate to which he was obviously elected on, James. There's no doubt they're going to have ramifications around the world. According to a number of economists, though, it's not going to directly have a big impact here in Australia. But I do wonder, though, could we have done more? I'm not so sure. It feels like Donald Trump was just made this decision from the very beginning.
No, and it would be a foolish one for the coalition to be going hard on the Prime Minister over to say they should have done more. I mean, we mentioned to Kevin Hogan a little bit earlier. Should Anthony Albanese have met him by now? Should he have gone to the inauguration? He's had no issue getting on a plane in this first term of government. Maybe, but I think there's a wider issue here, and that is how does Australia start to realise that we can't just be relying on the other parts of the world with our exports to be making all our money. If something like this happens, we've got to parry. We've got to figure out what's the next step. Now, there's talk off the back of this.
I think that's a really, really good point. And we have to think about ourselves first. That's really, really key. Well, that's what we've got time for, unfortunately, this evening. James Willis, it's been great to have you on the show. Have you enjoyed it?
I love that. Thank you for giving me something to do on a Sunday night. I appreciate that.
Well, you better watch us again next week after you made such a great debut.